Danielle Noyce here for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network with your Insights video. March is such a fickle month, isn't it? Back to reality in the coming days. The ups and downs in temperatures, timing out showers, wet flakes may mix in by Thursday evening. I'll let you know where. And a chance of some minor snow as we head into later on Friday with another disturbance coming in. More on that and the weekend coming up. So I know kiddos going from shorts and Crocs and short sleeves and a spring-like jacket to back to feeling a little more winterish, or at least Marchish here. For Wednesday, the feels like temperatures in the 30s to lower 40s. Look at Thursday, kind of the opposite. It's actually going to be a really mild start on Thursday morning. Then colder air comes in during the day. So as they leave in the morning, they may actually want to pack a warmer coat in the morning in the backpack for later on. Friday, feeling like the 20s out the door and then 30s later on. This is shown really well in the mid-level temperatures. The red line indicates the freezing line. And notice the mild air that's in place up and down the eastern seaboard. But then it comes crashing in colder air as we head through the day on Thursday. And then it stays there. It's with us across the Northeast for the end of the week, for the upcoming weekend, before another blast of cold air comes in through the middle part of next week, colder than before. Notice that big dip that comes in across really the Midwest and the eastern half of the country for the middle part of next week. So those temperature fluctuations continue out ahead of this cold front during the day on Wednesday. It's record-breaking warmth from upstate New York, stretching down through the Carolinas, the mid-Atlantic, the southeastern United States. Dozens and dozens of records are going to be broken for high temperatures during the day on Wednesday. With that warmth and humidity in place, there will be a round of thunderstorms as well. Notice snow on the northwest side of this system for some of the upper peninsula of Michigan and then stretching into eastern Canada. It's the temperature clash that's taking place right as that cooler air comes in, the warmth out ahead of it, a big zone, at least seeing some isolated to scattered thunderstorms during the day on Wednesday. But it's the yellow shaded area, so all the way from eastern Texas, stretching into the mid-Atlantic that has a threat for severe thunderstorms, isolated tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, some hail over the course of Wednesday. And there may be an isolated thunderstorm that sneaks into far western New England. Let's time things out. Notice during the day on Wednesday, 40s, even over the course of the morning. But the one exception, central and northern Maine. Little pink showing up here. So some isolated sleet and freezing rain may create some slick travel in the crown of Maine through Wednesday early afternoon. Notice Caribou and right along the Canadian border actually getting into some pockets of snow. Meanwhile, where the sun breaks out, we're going into the 50s to lower 60s Wednesday afternoon. Scattered showers come into western New England, and there may be a stray one out ahead of this main line, but late afternoon to evening, couple downpours in here too. An isolated rumble of thunder. Again, I'm not anticipating severe weather, but notice some of the deeper oranges and reds here that come in during the evening. Temperatures still running in the 50s to lower 60s, so it stays mild, and this is the very warm start on Thursday morning. 40s north, but 50s to near 60 south in a couple of spots with a shower in the morning. Then that colder air comes in. Notice that. And with some precipitation still in place, very light, there may be a couple of wet flakes that mix in. I'm not expecting any impact. Notice the temperature still above freezing, but I just don't want you to be caught off guard if you see some wet flakes that mix in towards the tail end on Thursday afternoon. And then otherwise the skies clear out and we'll get some upslope mountain snow that we'll talk about in a second. That's what the next disturbance coming in on Friday. So sun Friday morning is replaced by increasing clouds. Here comes that next disturbance with some pockets of snow filling in west to east Friday, late afternoon into the evening, maybe mild enough to mix with some wet raindrops in here, at least in southern New England. And it's not a ton of moisture with this, but it does swing through Friday night. Saturday on the backside of it with that cold air. Look at that. Upslope snow showers will add an additional few inches, particularly at the summits, lingering all into Saturday afternoon and evening right along the Canadian border. And then notice on Sunday, another fast-moving disturbance will spread snow in from Chicago to Milwaukee up through Detroit, Buffalo, and that will spread east. We'll watch that disturbance as we head into the second half of the upcoming weekend. So in the meantime, in terms of accumulated snow, I've stopped the map on Thursday evening and notice the light gray shading through the far interior, maybe as much as a coating. Crown of Maine right along the Canadian border. We're picking up a few inches by the time we get to Thursday evening. And then I've played things through Friday evening. And with that little bit of snow coming in, we may add an additional coating here away from the coastline through the interior. But notice in northern New England, much of Vermont, central and northern New Hampshire, and much of northern Maine, we're adding 1 to 2. Then with the upslope that's added on for Friday night and into Saturday, we're talking about 2 to 4 inches of fresh snow in the mountains. Look at this, 6 to 8 and 8 to 12 is what we wind up with across far northern Aroostook County. More like 2 to 4 from Skowhegan to Bangor, and then lesser amounts the farther south you come, but could have some flakes mixing in all the way down into southern New England, even at the coastline. It would be a minor impact. Of course, this time of the year, we get quick melting that occurs as well. So bottom line, you're going to see some big fluctuations here in our 14-day forecast in our free weather app. Download it, search 1 degree outside weather in the App Store and Google Play. We think you're going to love it. The only weather app you need. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this 1 degree outside video.
Get exclusive content, support the mission at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. And don't forget, free and 5 stars on the App Store and Google Play. Search the number 1 degree outside weather.